Today we are reporting the Shaun the Sheep movie and trail.
Hello, Ms. Walters. So thank you for taking the time to answer some questions for us.
You're very welcome.
We're here with BBC School Reports to find out a bit more about the Shaun the Sheep trail, seeing as that the movie's been such a success. So we'd like you to tell us a bit more about it. Okay. What's the aim for Redmaids by sponsoring Shaun the Sheep, and how will this benefit our school?
Well, for us, I think it's very much about looking back over our history and recognising the fact that in this year for us, which is the 380th year since the school was founded, because the trail was happening this year, it was a great opportunity for us to actually give something back to the city. That appeal is going to be raising money for the Bristol Royal Hospital for Children.
We're here at Aardman Animations. We're having an interview with Alicia Gould, Head of Development. We're going to be talking to her about the new Shaun the Sheep movie after we've just had an interesting insight about the trail.
Hello Alicia, so thank you for taking the time to answer our questions.
We've spoken to Maxine Walters from Redmaid School to get an insight on the creative and charity-based Shaun the Sheep Trail, which will be coming to Bristol this summer. Now we would like to get your perspective as Head of Development as to why Shaun has become so successful.
So since the release in February, why do you think the Shaun the Sheep movie has been so popular with such a wide age range?
That's a really good question, and I think that there are a number of reasons why Shaun has been so popular with an incredibly large audience. One of the reasons, certainly, is that Shaun is a very successful television series, so audiences around the world are very familiar with Shaun and love the series and know him well as a character and have great affection for him. So I think that's one of the reasons.
Yeah.
And I think another very important reason is that as a character and as a film, Shaun is incredibly accessible. So I think kids really connect to that character, who's a very mischievous child, really, who gets himself into all kinds of scrapes. And kids love to see kids doing really mischievous things. And adults love it too, because they recognize the child that they're raising, perhaps, or the child that they love in their lives, and they also recognize what it means to be a parent and have to grapple with really challenging kids. So I think that's some of it, meaning that it's a very universal sort of story, and it's a story about families. And I think that makes it very relatable.
So why do you think a silent feature film like Shaun the Sheep is so effective despite the lack of dialogue?
I think that one of the reasons that Shaun is so effective without dialogue is that cinema and film is a visual medium, and that words are not as essential as they are in something like a novel, for example, where words are absolutely critical.
Yeah.
So the story can be told with pictures and with sound and with music, and I think that it's kind of a delightful way to tell a story because it means it sort of travels anywhere in the world. It doesn't need subtitles, It doesn't need translation, and I think that's one of the things that makes it very special.
Thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us, and this has really helped our BBC School Report. Thank you.
My pleasure.
This has been Madsy,
Clarissa, Maddie,
and Sophie, reporting for BBC School News, Shaun the Sheep.
Bah!